Hello, and welcome to another episode of the PintSizeAnalyze podcast. In today's episode, I am going to be recapping the Seattle Mariners 3-2 victory in 10 innings over the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Not actually their name. It was a 4-game sweep for the Mariners, who have now won 5 games in a row, including that 4-game sweep. They are now 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. We can go to the MLB wild card standings right now just to get that up. I meant to have that tab open as well, but never too late to open it. So as we can see right here, the Mariners are 2.5 games out of the final wild card spot behind Toronto. Houston has a 1-game lead over Toronto in the wild card, and then Tampa Bay, and then the division leaders so far, or through August 6th, are Minnesota, Texas, and Baltimore. Now let's take a look through at the Mariners game. Today was a really kind of a nail-biter Mariners game, but it's gotten to the point and where I'm confident in this team enough to where I don't know if this is actually a good thing or a bad thing, but I kind of had faith that they could win all day today, and that's not something that I've had much of this year, where I can feel confident that they're going to win the game, even though it might be tied or losing, although they never were losing in today's game. But on the very first pitch of the game, J.P. Crawford went deep off of Chase Silseth, the Angels starter today. And let's go to the box scores real quick. As for today's box score, so for the Mariners, Bryce Miller went 5 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 1 run. That run was earned, 0 walks, and 10 strikeouts. It was his second time in his career that he's reached 10 strikeouts. His first since he made his Major League debut on May 2nd against Oakland when he had 10 strikeouts. He was also the most valuable player in baseball today by Fangraphs WAR. As we could see, tied for it with Oviedo from Pittsburgh. He had .4 F4 today, and then if we go to hitters or batting, we'll see that I think only the most amount of F4 a hitter had today was .2. So Miller was, or .3, I mean. So Miller was the most valuable pitcher in baseball, or valuable player in baseball today, tied by Fangraphs. His outing today was absolutely excellent. Everything we were hoping for, maybe an inning longer, maybe sacrifice a few of those strikeouts, but it was okay. Still very, very exciting to see that he, did that well. Only a .73 FIP, or negative .73 FIP, 0.58 xFIP, 1.8 ERA, and then something like a 2.92 SIERA, I believe, today. So the outing was backed up by ERA estimators too as a very, very excellent outing. As for Mariners hitters today, only 3 runs scored. Not super great with runners in scoring position. They had a few opportunities, but were not able to capitalize. But like I said, J.P. Crawford went deep on the first pitch of the game, which kind of set the tone, although the Angels ended up getting that run back and tying the game in that bottom of the first. But since JP was able to go deep on the first pitch of the game, that kind of gave you, kind of is what led me to believe that, they were going to win today. I had faith when JP really set the tone off right, I felt like, with that home run on the very first pitch of the game. As for hitters today, Julio went 2 for 4 with a walk as well. He stayed hot at the plate, which is really, really good. Gino also stayed hot. He had the 10th inning RBI that ended up being the game winner for the Mariners. Cal went 0 for 4 with a walk. Canzone 0 for 4. Teoscar had 2 extra base hits today, including a game go-ahead home run in the top of the 7th, which the Angels would then answer right back in the bottom of the 7th with a home run by Matt Thaiss, but I'm unsure how to pronounce it, but that was really, really good to see. He also had a double in the 5th inning, I believe. And then Mike Ford with a walk. He went 0 for 3 as well. Cade Marlowe 0 for 2. And then Josh Rojas still unfortunately doesn't have a hit as a Mariner yet. But Ty France in his place went 0 for 0. He pinch hit in the bottom of the 9th and then ended up running in the top of the 10th. Now, in the top of the 10th as well, there was a weird play where kind of, Gino singled, and then Ty scored from second as the runner who was placed on second, and then Julio was intentionally walked in the top of the 10th, and Julio was actually thrown out on kind of a play that we weren't quite sure about whether he was actually out or safe by Moustakis. No, Grichuk. Yeah, it was Grichuk who made the throw to Moustakis. And Julio was ended up called out. It was kind of a situation, too, where the initial call on the field kind of held more weight. But overall, today, Mariners hitters were 7 for 33 with 3 walks, 15 strikeouts. If we go here, then we can see that Silseth had 12 strikeouts. It was the first time since 1906 that two rookie pitchers have both had 10 strikeouts or more in a game. Bryce Miller and Silseth are both rookies. They both had over 10 strikeouts or 10 strikeouts or more. And then Isaiah Campbell pitched a scoreless sixth. Trent Thornton pitched the seventh. He unfortunately gave up that game-tying home run to Matt Tice. And then Topa pitched a scoreless eighth. And then Taylor Saucedo was absolute nails in the ninth, and then came out in the bottom of the 10th and pitched a 1-2-3-3 strikeout inning. He was just electric. He has been pitching so well. As you can see right here, 3 strikeouts in the bottom of the 10th. Renfroe, Wallach, and then not Wallach did not strike out in that inning. He just flew out, and then Crone struck out to end the game. But Saucedo, who was a waiver claim by the Mariners, has been pitching excellent. He's been pitching in consistent high leverage innings as well. So it's like just another incredible success story for this organization, where they're turning a player who was kind of an afterthought by a previous organization, had been designated for assignment, was placed on waivers, and they're turning them into an arm that is now pitching legitimate and high leverage innings for them. So this is a great thing for the Mariners, and hopefully something that they can continue. Now, I noticed something as well. If you go to wrap in today's game in the MLB section on MLB.com, and then you go down, you can see this the data visualizations page. Now, I noticed something. There were 3 home runs in today's game, one by Tice, one by Hernandez, Teo, and then one by JP. And only JP's home run shows up, but if you click on it, then I opened it in another tab, and you go to an animated look, then it is able to give you some information which is not publicly available data that I thought would be exciting to show you. So if you go right here, it tells you about the bat speed, which the pitch speed is obviously higher, but the pitch speed is also always on the left, and then the bat speed is on the right. And so it looks like the bat speed that JP had when he hit the ball was 78.7 miles per hour. Again, this data is not publicly available. And then it kind of shows a different angle, which it shows you the launch angle, which is obviously publicly available, but then it shows you the attack angle. The attack angle, you might be asking, what's the attack angle? The attack angle is what is the angle that the bat is at. What's the angle that the bat path is on? And that data is not publicly available. It'll hopefully be available at some point on StatCast by the end of the season, or in the next couple of years, but it's not publicly available right now. So for us to be able to get that data from this visual or from this animated look is really, really cool, and something that I'm definitely going to be utilizing more. The fact that we're able to get this data. Now, what's weird about it is that it only shows up on one of the 3 home runs. Right here it says the distance between J.P. Crawford's home run, an animated look, and then it has. By the way, this is all cool stuff, just not as cool because it's not publicly available data. I know about all this stuff. Part of the reason why I like the animated look is because it's not publicly available data, like I said. But unfortunately, they don't show it for every home run. It's just from that JP home run. And I went back and looked at some animated looks from like a month ago, because this just started this season, and they only include the bat speed data. So up until a few days ago, they were not including the attack angle data as well. So it wasn't just publicly available data that's become privately available data that's become public slightly this season. It's still not completely public, and it hasn't been this whole season. So if you guys are interested in that data, make sure to look out for that, because that's something that I thought was really, really intriguing, and something that I thought was worth mentioning in the show, because it's, more information that I love about this game, and it's more sabermetrics. And then if we go right here, we can go to who had the top exit velocity today. It was Teo on that double, 109.6. He absolutely lasered that double. And then he had a home run later in the game. Matt Tice also had a home run. And then 4 barrel balls today, one by Mike Ford. Oh, I was unaware that was that Mike Ford line out was a barrel. But then Mike Ford had a lineout, Matt Tice, the 3 home runs, and then the Ford lineout were all barrels. JP's home run also came on the very first pitch of the game, as I believe I mentioned, but still cool. Not just first batter, first pitch. Also, Canzone with an 18.8 mile per hour groundout. That is one of the lower exit velocities you'll ever see. And then lots of strikeouts, as I said today, but only 2 walks for the Mariners. Mariners pitching did not give up a walk today, so that's a good sign for sure. And then I also wanted to go to Bryce Miller's recent starts because I feel like today's start was really, really important for him. He had his most recent starts have been a game score of 23 and 30. Obviously, today's was significantly higher. But in the start on 7/26 against Minnesota, he gave up 6 runs. And then last start against Boston again, he also gave up 6 runs. So for him to only give up 1 run this outing, I think was really, really important for him. I think it really, really helped him get back on track. And, we know what type of pitcher he's capable of being. And when the secondary stuff is working, he can be very good. But as we know, he's still developing the secondary stuff, which I wanted to go to his player breakdown section for today, because I feel like that's important in highlighting how the secondary stuff was doing. Obviously, his four-seamer was actually up 1.3 miles per hour today, which a boost in velo will always take. His slider, actually everything was up in velo, but then also the slider usage was up today, and then also he used the sweeper 9 times today, which is the most we've seen him use before, and honestly, the horizontal break on it looked really good. I know the average horizontal break today was actually lower than it has been for the yearly average, but it looked like he was using it really well situationally, and also give credit to Cal Raleigh for calling the game behind the dish as well. But it really, really felt like he was utilizing that, and when he's able to use that slider and sweeper, he has 2 variations, and he can use them both to his advantage. So to see Miller use those 2 variations would be really, really exciting, and something that I hope he does. But that is about it for today's game. I also just wanted to give one more quick shout out again to the bullpen. Despite trading away Sewald like a week ago, everybody has, increased their role, and everybody stepped up to the plate, no pun intended, and they are just getting strikeouts, they're getting outs, they're pitching effectively, and they're, making it so they're really, it's really like everybody is impacting the game, and it's like everybody has taken such a step forward, like Brash, Saucedo, Thornton could be pitching high leverage innings. In fact, it was high leverage today. He could be pitching even more high leverage innings today, or in the future, I mean, not just today. So that's about it. This team is in the best position they've been in a long time. I'm more confident that this team is going to make the playoffs today, and the most confident I've been since April. They are playing really, really well, and I think that they're a dangerous team, and I think that if they keep playing like this, they're going to make the playoffs. It's like they've reached the threshold of baseball where it's quality enough that they can make the playoffs. Once you reach that threshold, you're just like, all right, they're there, and they're there. They've proved that they have the talent to be a playoff level baseball team. They're playing at that playoff threshold. Now they just need to, they proved that they can play at it. Now they just need to keep playing at it. Is basically what I have to say. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Also, the Mariners got to Carlos Estevez today as well, which was exciting to see. That's the second time this series that they got to him. Obviously, the Marlowe Grand Slam in Game 1 on Thursday night. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I can't wait to make some more episodes about of this podcast, and I can't wait to keep talking about this team because they are really, really fun to watch right now. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in, and peace.